Yes. Okay. Awesome. I don't know if you can mute everyone. Oh, everyone's muted. Okay. Just real quick before Lindsay goes ahead, I don't want to waste any more time because I'm super excited to hear what she has to say. But of course, we're so early into the month of May, but there are so many names on the Changing Lives board already. So I have to recognize you guys. This is from Thursday. So if you have changed more lives since then, obviously keep kicking ass. But there's Bree, myself, Tracy, Colleen, Tabitha, Carrie, Ginger, Ellie, Sarah, Sierra, and Aaron. So awesome job to all of you that are on the Changing Lives Club board already. So just a little introduction for those of you that don't know Lindsay or maybe don't follow her. Her and I wouldn't really say that we're sister coaches because I think you have a different upline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have the same grandma coach. So we're technically on the same team. We're in the same grandma coach team page. And although I don't think we've met in person, we have always just sort of supported each other via social media. We have a lot in common, obviously, as moms, and just, did we meet at Summit? My husband's chiming in.
I don't think so. Last year I didn't get to go because I was due any day now.
Oh, you think we're talking about Lindsay
that was my
Caterino?
first. So
he thought we were talking about Lindsay Caterino.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we did meet her. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought now. As he's talking to me in my ear. Okay, so I don't think we've ever met in person. However, we have a lot in common, maybe as feeling like we didn't really have support from our upline, perhaps. But whatever it may be, as you saw, Lindsay is still a full-time teacher, but she works her business full-time. She's been doing this for 2.5 years, and though she is a mom of two, obviously has been coaching. She just had, how old is she? 7 months?
9 months.
9 months. Oh my gosh. She just had a 9-month-old 9 months ago. So she coached while pregnant, has gone through postpartum while coaching, and this past year hit elite. So she is going to share her success story with us and how she manages her time, because I still have no idea how the hell she does it. But I am going to stop talking and just let you take over. Thanks again for speaking for us.
You're welcome. Thank you. I feel honored. It's just so awesome. I love the community that Beachbody creates for us. So yeah, I'm super busy. But I kind of thrive on that. So I'm one of those people where if I don't have a lot on my plate, then I don't accomplish much. And if it's almost like the busier I am, the more I'm able to get done. So I'll share kind of why I started working hard and my why, because I really do believe that if you can really identify your why and like the root of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and it's more than just like I'd like to pay off student loans and things like that. I really do believe that is what powers you more than like your journey, your fitness journey, or wanting to pay off some debt. So I started when I was 8 months postpartum with my son. I was searching for something to help me. I was going through postpartum depression. I was in the midst of talking about some type of medical regimen with my doctor with, prescription meds and therapy and things like that. Really just struggling. And I had hit this place where I thought, this is just motherhood. Motherhood is just like me crying in the Old Navy fitting room. And that's just it. Like you have anxiety when you're at the grocery store because you left your kid half a mile down the road. That's life now. And I don't know what exactly hit me it may not have to be that way. And I just decided I did not want to be that girl that was on medication. I don't even like taking Tylenol. So I was really looking for a way to fix what I felt was more of a mindset problem than really a deep-rooted problem that couldn't be solved from the inside out. So I started looking. I knew a lot of my anxiety and negative feelings were stemming from being overweight and not being able to follow my child around and do all the things I wanted to be able to do. I so wanted to be that mom that was not sitting on the park bench. I wanted to be the mom that was climbing on the swing set with my kid. So I found Beachbody. I loved that it was a lifestyle, not just a quick fix. I loved that it was fitness and nutrition. Nutrition is my weakness. So that's what I went with. And I initially signed up with a coworker, And I remember sitting in the cafeteria. I'm going to mute somebody if I can. I don't know if I have that ability. I don't. There's someone that's echoing a little bit. But I remember sitting in the cafeteria being like, people do this full time? That is crazy. I do not want to do this full time. A couple $100 a month would be great. I just want to lose the baby weight. And then my son was mistreated at daycare in a pretty big way. I ended up pulling him from the daycare and filing a formal complaint that daycare got in trouble. And in that moment, it was like, I never want to leave him with anybody ever again if I don't have to. And so that's when I really hit it hard. And when I say I hit it hard, I had already been hitting Success Club, and I didn't even know what Success Club was. My upline was a coworker who was not really working her business. Her upline was someone who was in and out because of having a baby, and just like some days was committed and some days was not present at all. And we were just kind of floundering, but somehow I was doing it. And I even went Emerald in that time, and I didn't even know what that was. But I was just sharing it because I knew how it was making me feel. And that's the number one thing that I would suggest. If you follow me, I am super authentic. I think Chelsea's really good at this too. I'm super real. I try to share. I'm very transparent, which puts me in a position where I'm vulnerable. I definitely, get my little nasty little comments about whether or not I'm parenting or spending all my time on social media. But I'm very transparent, I'm very vulnerable, very real. Like, this postpartum journey has not been what I expected it to be. I really expected this second time around to be a lot easier because I had already done it once. I really expected to be in a much fitter position after I delivered and be able to just drop the weight like nothing. And I've still got 18 pounds on me that I need to lose. And that I've shared that because I really think that making sure that you're sharing that we're real people and we don't need to be perfect, and this is a journey and we're always on a journey. I really think that's important. I think it's so important for women to understand that, you don't have to be in a position where you are at your fittest or you're at your feel goodest in order to start coaching or even start prioritizing and investing in yourself. So I really make a point to be authentic, to be real. I make sure to share how it benefits my entire family, not just me. And these are the two biggest things that I did in the very beginning that are super scary. You guys are lucky. You have an upline that is very supportive and kind of like paves the way for you. I ended up finding my current upline now and saying to her, look, I don't like the way things are being done. It's not working. I don't like it. So I know that the people I'm inviting don't like it. And if I don't like it, how do I keep inviting them to this? I was like, we need to make our own team. And she was not cool with that. She was like, girl, we don't even have, we each have 2 working coaches. How are we going to do this? Just do it. Just figure out a way to make it work. There is no secret sauce. I mean, every coach that gets up and speaks at all these events that we go to says, do the 4 vital behaviors and make it fit you. And that really is what this is all about. One thing that I say on almost every call is let your freak flag fly. Really, be you, be uninhibitedly you, unapologetically you, and let people know that you're learning alongside them, that you're on the ride too. And just don't ever emulate this vision of perfection because no one's going to relate to that. I really think that's the biggest reason why some coaches are more successful than others. And I think it's because when we only share the highlight reel, then people think that's your real life. And when you don't share the hard stuff or the tough stuff or you overcoming something or struggling with something, then they're going to think that you don't do that. And so that's why this works for you and why it can't work for them. So you really do want to make sure that you're sharing all aspects of it. And that's what I did in the beginning. I was like, look, I was ready to go on medication. I was ready to start going to a therapist. And I am not knocking that. I really felt like there was another way for me. And so I share that. I'm very raw and real about that story. From there, posting, showing up every single day. I mean, multiple times a day. As a full-time teacher, do most of you work full-time right now? Working full-time makes that hard because what do you do all day that people want to see, right? So you definitely, my biggest, I guess, piece of advice if you work full-time is always be thinking about tomorrow. If you're thinking about today, you're too late. You're already behind. Because if you are trying to take pictures today in order to share today and you work full-time, you're just going to get so frustrated and so overwhelmed, and it's just not going to work. So what I try to do is I try to make sure that I've got lots of pictures of what I'm doing from the weekend, things I took pictures of today, I'll be able to share tomorrow. It doesn't have to be the day of that you're sharing the journey. It can be you sharing what happened yesterday and how it's affecting you today. Or you can just play it off like it's today. Nobody's really going to know. So you always need to be thinking ahead. It's kind of like, as a teacher, I already know what I'm doing next week. And in my business, it's the same way. I treat this business exactly the way I treat my classroom. I feel like when I am leading new coaches into the business, it's just like when I'm leading students. So I've taught 8th grade for the last 8 years. And when I have students ask me for answers to things, I'm like, no, you need to figure out where to go to find the answer. Because when you get to high school, your teacher's not going to help you. They're not going to be able to give you this one-on-one time like I am right now. And I try to do that same thing with my coaches. Okay, you need to know how to do this. Why don't you look in the office, look through the frequently asked questions, and then get back to me if you can't find it, and I'll help you some more. So I always try to, if you're trying to develop leaders, you cannot spoon feed them. And if you're spoon feeding them, I know it feels like you're helping. It feels like, and I tell my students this, it feels like you're helping when you give your friends the answer because they get the answer and then they feel good. But you're cheating them. And that's what we're doing when we spoon feed our coaches. We are cheating them because if they don't know where to go and find the information themselves, then they are not going to know how to teach their downline to do the same things. So you really need to think about your downline and your coaches as, I hate to say like children, but really you do. And especially when they're brand new in the business, you really need to set them up for success and independence. And if you are constantly, doing things for them, creating graphics for them to share. Now, I'm not saying don't share anything. In fact, that's where I'm going to go next. My team, the culture is team to the smallest degree. We are a team. We share everything. We do Secret Santa in December for Christmas. We are all about culture, and that really is, I think, one of the key elements to our success. When my grandmother passed away 2 years ago, our team came together, and I wasn't going to be able to go. I'm from New York, and I live in North Carolina. Tickets were ridiculous. My team went behind my back and pooled money and bought me an airline ticket so that I could be home for my grandmother's funeral. That's the kind of culture we have. And it stems from the fact that we are friends first. We form friendships first, and then we build businesses. And we really focus on that relationship aspect, which is what we tell our coaches to do with their challengers. Form a relationship, form them before you invite them to the group. Do the same thing with your coaches. You want to make sure that you know how many kids they have, what they do for a living, what they struggle with, just check in, care about them. Because people want to be cared about. People want to be loved, they want to be accepted, and they want to belong. And if you make your coaches feel that way, they're going to work. They're going to believe in what you're doing. They're going to believe in your team. And that's all going to trickle down. Everyone's going to benefit from that. More lives are going to be saved if everyone's working together. So the way we share things, and stop me if I'm going too fast or if you need to ask a question or something. I get excited. But we share almost everything. So we try to make everyone a leader. It doesn't matter how long you've been coaching. It doesn't matter what rank you are. If you have one challenger or you are just leading your household in this venture, then you're a leader. So that means everyone's got the same responsibilities. So that means we all create content and we all put it in a Google folder and we can pull from that content. We all hold each other accountable. There's a girl on my team who is a coach and has been a coach for 2 years now. And she's the one who posts our accountability check each week. And it's because one day I forgot to do it. So she did it. And I was like, you know what? You're better at that than I am. So you do that. So don't be afraid to delegate to your coaches. Don't be afraid to also delegate to your challengers. This has been really, really pivotal for me in transforming some of my challengers into amazing coaches. When I was in Punta Cana, I did reach out to 2 of my personally sponsored coaches who were in the same challenge group as me and ask them, make sure things are running because I'm not going to be on my phone as much. But I also reached out to 3 of my rock star challengers and I was like, look, I know that you're not a coach, but I know how inspiring you are to me and how motivating you are to me. While I'm gone for the next 4 days, will you please just make sure this group stays alive? And that empowers them a little bit because they're starting to see that they're already doing the things a coach does. And if they can lead a challenge group when they're not even a coach yet, that's a great segue into me saying, have you thought about joining my team? Because you really killed it while I was in Punta Cana. And that's a great, great way of really empowering those women. And I say women because I primarily work with women. And getting them comfortable in what we do as coaches. Because I feel like some people who are challengers, even if they're getting their Shakeology every month and they're like, no, I don't want to sign up for the discount, it's because that coach term really scares them. And they're already doing what we do. They're just doing it in a group instead of on their Facebook page, really. And I really try to communicate that to them because transferring challengers to coaches is huge. Another thing I wanted to share, and I actually have my calendar here so I can show this to you. This was something I learned at the New Leaders Conference when I went in March. And Melanie Mitro shared this. She shared how she sets up her calendar. And I actually created a graphic to share with my team. And I'm happy to send it to Chelsea so that she can share it with you guys. But Melanie actually maps out like what she calls jabs. And she figures out, like I already went through my whole calendar for the year. Like I said, I think way far ahead because that's just how I roll. But like I have Post-it notes throughout my entire calendar. This is November. And I already know what my free group is going to be or what my free content's going to be for the month of November so that I can be preparing it ahead of time. And I have that done for every month already throughout the year. And what Melanie did is she kind of took that really long-term planning, and it's still long-term planning, but she broke it down from like the year scheme or the 6-month scheme into 1 month at a time. And she does that by doing what she calls jabs. And so I'll just show you what my month of March looked like. So in March, my first week here, I put Target gift card jabs. So one of the things that I did this month, I don't do this every month, but if I feel like it's going to be a potentially more difficult month to hit Success Club, I'll run some type of promotion on my own. So what I did is I said that if you signed up from March 1st to March 5th, then I would put your name into a drawing for a $25 Target gift card when you joined my challenge group. And I think I hit Success Club 10 by the 5th that way because people were like, oh, well, I want to go ahead and sign up now so I have the opportunity to win that gift card. So I jabbed about that, which means I posted about that on social media from the 1st all the way to the 4th. Then once that was over, I started jabbing about my free group that was going to happen in 3 weeks. So you're always jabbing ahead of time. So this week I jabbed all about my girlfriend project group that I had going on that ended up starting down here. The next week I started jabbing about my challenge group that I was running in April. So I'm always kind of jabbing ahead of time. And I've also learned that for my following and my audience, it's best for me to run my free groups at the end of the month because those people who are in my free group who are like, okay, maybe Lindsay really knows what she's talking about and I need to join her for the next one. And that's me already setting up my Success Club points for the next month. instead of me running it up here and then having all these people signing up throughout the middle of the month and just getting into the middle of that challenge group, I run my free group at the end. And then when they're ready, I'll sign them up and get them into the next challenge group. So that way, again, I'm setting up my Success Club points for the next month, and they're getting a full month for their first month in a challenge group. Then this group right here, or this week right here, I did business opportunity jabs. So our team runs a glance group together. So I jab the week of the glance group so that I can be inviting to that I call it a third party opportunity, instead of, sharing me just like beach body vomit because I get super excited and bleh, all over people. It allows me to have a much more withdrawn way of sharing information and them not being super overwhelmed because of me. And also them hearing the information from that third party sometimes is a little bit better. Even though I'm the one making the posts, them getting to read it and watch videos is sometimes a better delivery system than just talking to me. I guess it's more comforting. So, like I said, I always plan ahead. I always jab, for about a week before the actual event or thing is going to take place. And then I'm always thinking ahead. Like already this month, I know at the end of this month, I've got a 5-day Shakeology group happening. And I've already got, my goal is to have 10 people in there. I've got 8 in there right now. And I'm hoping that some of those 8 are going to turn into challengers for next month. And so when the 5 days is up, that's when I can start, working towards Success Club for next month by getting them transferred into a legit challenge group. I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to share with you. Do you have any questions so far? I know I talk a lot. I get excited.
I just had a question because you work full time. Do you tend to schedule posts out? Do you have an assistant? How do you manage your time? Because I know a lot of people do on our team have other jobs or kids. And I know that's a huge question. Chelsea and I did. How many hours do you put into this business? And I tell Chelsea, I'm like, honestly, I work like a solid hour. And if anything else, like that, like extra is fluff and like great. But like, how much time do you put in your business a day?
In the beginning, when I decided I was all in and I was going to make this work, I probably worked 10 to 12 hours a week in addition to my full-time job. What I would do is, and I'm a teacher, so I know my schedule is a little bit different. I would devote one planning period a week to this business where the rest I had to focus on school. I made my lunch in a way that I didn't have to heat it up, so I didn't have to leave my classroom. So I would have that 25 minutes to sit at my desk and eat, and it meant that I was eating by myself. But you'd be amazed at what you can get done in 25 minutes if you sit in your room instead of sitting in the teacher's lounge. And then a couple days a week, I would stay after school until 4:30 before picking up my kids. And I would devote that time, like shut the door, focused time. I've had the rule from the beginning. My kids are my why. That's why I started. It's why I really dug in, and it's why I want to continue. My goal is really to stay at home and be a stay-at-home or work-at-home mom with Beachbody. So I told myself from the beginning, Saturdays we're out. Saturday is our family day, and I'm not working on a Saturday. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't post. It doesn't mean, like you said, the fluffy stuff. It doesn't mean that I don't, check into my team page in the morning and in the evening before I go to bed. It just means like I'm not writing content. I'm not, I know I probably shouldn't say this. I don't invite on Saturdays. I make up for those invitations throughout the rest of the week. I make sure that I get at least 3 invites a day. I tend to be one of those people who likes to do like 25 at a time instead of doing 3 every day or however, some people do it. I think it's really, really important to set yourself a schedule and know, like Mondays, this is what my days look like. I may not do the same thing from 3 to 4 every Monday for this business, but I'm working this business every Monday from 3 to 4. Tuesdays, I'm doing this. Wednesdays, I'm not working because I've got something after school every Wednesday or, that kind of thing. I think it's really important to set hours to make sure your team understands that you have those hours and that during that time, if you see the little green lights flashing in your Facebook chat, you're not answering them unless it's like your time to be having a conversation with a potential challenger. It's not time to be answering questions about, I don't know, how to use Canva or something, you know what I mean? I also, like I said, I use Buffer, and I was using it a lot after I did the Josh Coates training, and he was like, you need to be posting 4 times a day. I was like, okay, I can't do that unless I use Buffer. I did notice that my posts that I was posting through Buffer were not getting nearly as much attention as my posts that I post directly to Facebook myself. So what I've started doing is I'll have an idea for a post even if I don't have a picture for it. I write it, I type it out in my notes on my phone. And whenever, when I'm in the bathroom at school, I'll take my phone with me. And while I'm in there, I'll real quick copy and paste with a picture onto my page and then go back to my room. I really try to just use those cracks that we call mom cracks and make sure that I'm using them to the best of my ability. Did that answer your question at all?
Yes, it did. I just think, I know for the team, it's like they see successful coaches like you and think like, oh, they must work this business all the time. And, same with Chelsea or myself. It's like, I do this full time, but, my other things are priorities. So to see like, yeah, you can reach it, but the dedication that you have to work hours and knowing that those cracks exist to really buckle down and do the important things.
Yeah, it's very rare that I get a legit power hour. That's very rare. It's typically like, nap time or lunchtime or, 30, 40 minutes before I go pick up the kids. It's not usually me getting to sit down and do a power hour. And with that said, I prioritize everything I'm doing. I always do, and I'm going to use these terms just because we're all coaches and we all know this is how we have to think sometimes, but I always do my money-making activities first. My money-making activities are the 4 vital behaviors. I always make sure those get done every day, non-negotiable. Then if I've still got time, I'll try to schedule a couple blog posts ahead of time. I'll try to edit some pictures or make some images. That's when I do schedule on every Tuesday in my team page. I do Tough Love Tuesday. I do schedule those in advance when I can. I schedule things into my diamond page. I try to do some type of Tough Love Tuesday for them as well at some point during the week. That's geared more toward a diamond coach as opposed to a new coach. I'm always working ahead when I get that extra time.
Anyone else have any questions? Don't be shy. Maybe this is, let me see who's on here. I'm sure that a lot of people could benefit from this as well, but I know that when you and I speak about elite groups and that sort of thing, that you have a lot of diamonds or close to diamonds in your downline. Mm-hmm. What tips do you have, or what do you think has been the key to, developing diamonds or just developing leaders or developing people that want to work the business? Okay.
I think sharing what a blessing this business is to you and your family, because first and foremost, that really shows them, like I just took my whole family of 4 on a free trip to Punta Cana. That's something that we do. Like I've not been on an all-inclusive trip since my honeymoon, and it was not in the plans at all until this came along. Think little things like that your coaches can start working for. I hope I don't offend anybody. It took me a long time to get diamond, but in the grand scheme of things, when I look at it and I see you need 8 coaches and you need 2 of them to be emerald, that really doesn't sound that difficult. So I really try to break that down for my coaches. Like, you just need to go emerald several times in order to hit diamond. And we really focus on the fact that this is such an opportunity. And if you are not sharing it with someone, you're taking that opportunity away from them. And it's really if you love somebody and they're your friend or your family member and you have not invited them yet to the business opportunity, then you're denying them something great. And you really need to understand that this is such a value. And if you can give them this and help them, you know, turn this into something for their family, that's really huge. Something else that I do in my personally sponsored coach page is every day I go in with something. It might be like a pop quiz type thing. Like, what would you say if you got this response? Or yesterday I posted just a graphic that said dream team. And I said, I want you to write down 5 names of people who you have not yet invited to this business who you think would be a good fit. And then I said, the reason I said 5 is because you're going to invite one of them on Monday, one of them on Tuesday, one of them on Wednesday. You get the picture. And because it was like an aha moment for me, because again, I didn't have this upline that was, you know, building a business. It was such an aha moment for me when I was in that diamond group with Lindsay and someone said, you need to stop inviting to the challenge group and start inviting to the business opportunity. I was like, I had never even thought about it. Like, I only had people signing up because of the discount. I had no idea I should be inviting them to start creating an income for themselves. And I really think that portraying to someone the benefits of being diamond, the way it makes you feel, the stability it gives you in your business, the stability it gives you in the income, that's something that we really need to portray. And one thing that we're going to start, I'm hoping on Sunday, I'm working on it now because I just had the idea yesterday, is we're going to have a month-long challenge group and it's going to be called Push to Grow instead of Push to Diamond, because I feel like that word diamond is just so scary to people. So we focus again on just having them grow, invite, grow, talk to your own downline about growing. And each day there's going to be a task for them to do. And they're going to have to show up just like they want their challengers to show up. And we're going to run it like the health bet. So everyone's going to put in a little bit of money and, you know, get some money at the end and all that. But I really think that the way to grow diamonds, again, is not to handhold, to show them the way and to encourage them to do it on their own with some help, but not by doing it for them. Because if you do it for them, they're not going to keep their diamond. And then just to keep showing them the value. And I think another thing, especially for someone who's a new diamond or who's trying to go star diamond, you always have to have the mentality that the people who are with you now won't be with you next year. And you just have to keep inviting. Like you cannot I can't bank on my 5 diamonds right now to be my 5 diamonds next year. Because they may quit, they may have a baby and just like say, forget it for a while. You know, anything can happen. So you always need to be thinking, who else could be my next diamond, or who could be my next superstar? And don't deny yourself that $40 sign up. One of my rock star coaches is someone who signed up for $40, and I didn't push her. I never push them, because if that's what they want to do, I don't want to, say no. She's going to go 1 star before Summit. So definitely, and she's only been coaching a year. But definitely, just keep showing them the way, leading by example, sharing what you're doing. It's those vital behaviors. If you can just get people to do them, man, it's that easy. I mean, you just do those things every day and eventually things just start snowballing. Like, I just had a new coach sign up yesterday who joined my book club. I was searching everywhere trying to figure out how I even met this girl, because I wanted to, when I introduced her to the team, I wanted to share, because I like to show people, like, I met this person on Instagram. If I met a random person on Instagram, then you could meet a random person on Instagram. I have no idea how this girl met me. I know she was in my book club. It was a free group I ran on Facebook, but we had a hard time becoming friends on Facebook, and no idea how she found me, how she got interested, but now she's a coach on my team. And she joined me in February, joined my group in February, and she decided to coach now. So I think I mean, everything that you're doing today is planting seeds for 4 months from now. And you just have to teach people that that's the way the business works.
So true. So true. Do you guys have any questions for Lindsay? Anything else?
I was just going to say, I think that is one thing that we have to really teach our coaches in this business. It's not like a LuLaRoe business or like a business where you're selling something and, you know, your first month you sell a ton of stuff because everyone's excited for you and they want some of it. And so you make, you know, $1,000 in your first month, and then next month it's not that way. So you make like 600, and then next month, you know, as you go on, your income usually decreases a little bit with businesses like that because people are like, I got a lot of leggings, I'm good. But with our business, it's just continuously growing. And it's not all about you making a sale to make it grow. I think a big shift in becoming a diamond is understanding that, yes, signing new challengers is really important, and does have an impact on your income, but really helping your coaches grow and develop and become leaders benefits everybody more.
I have a quick question if I can ask.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of like you when someone first like initiates that they're excited. I have that word vomit where I'm like, blah, you know, I'm so excited. Here's everything you need to know. And they're like, whoa, okay. Too much. What is something, or what are some tips that can, I guess, essentially like slow me down and give them information, but not make them feel like, whoa, you know, because I truly am just wanting to help, but then it comes across like, here is the entire pamphlet of beachbody.com at your fingertips.
So something I've started doing is saying, yay, I'm so excited you're interested, question, because then it's them talking. And if I present them with a question like, what are your health and fitness goals right now? And so then they start talking, and then that's normally when I can come in and say, oh, wow, I went through that when I had my baby, or, you know, I relate to that. So, or my mom has hypothyroidism and is drinking Shakeology, or that kind of thing. And so then I might say a couple sentences, but then I force myself, put another question in there. So what is, you know, I don't know, what kind of workouts do you like, or things. I try to really turn the conversation so that when they're asking me for help and asking me for information, I end up not answering them with a question because they're asking me a question, but kind of giving them a tidbit and then posing another question so that I know what to share. Because there are people who don't need to know about the 21-day fix. They're not interested. That's not their cup of tea. Or they don't need to know about Shakeology. They're interested in the performance line. And so I don't need to spew Shakeology on them if they're really someone who's into bodybuilding and want to know about the performance line, you know, stuff that we have. So I really try that was hard, but I make sure that I am asking lots of questions and then forming what I say to fit their needs.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I can add to that has stuck with me since my first summit is something that Megan Ewaldson said, who is actually in our upline as well. But she said that you don't want to give, or maybe it was Amy Silverman. It's mom brain. You don't want to give the whole loaf of bread. You just want to give little bits of the bread at a time. So don't throw the whole loaf of bread at them at once. I used to do the same thing. Oh my God, awesome. You're so interested. Blah, blah, blah. This is a challenge pack and it's $140. Like I think everyone does that the first couple conversations, but you can never ask enough questions. Just like Lindsay said, I just stop myself, ask a question. Stop myself, ask a question, ask a question. And if you think you've asked enough questions, ask like 5 more.
Yeah, make it about them. I mean, this journey is their journey. We're just here to help. That also makes me think of like when you're posting on social media, something I've really had to train my team to do is, again, don't give the whole loaf of bread. You have to create curiosity. I very rarely use the word Beachbody, very rarely use the word Shakeology. If I'm doing the 21-day fix, I very rarely use that. Only because if people already know that, then why do they need to ask me a question? Why do they need to reach out to me? They feel like they know that because they see it on an infomercial, you know? So definitely make sure that you are just like leaving crumbs to lead them.
Or you get the dreaded, hey, I saw you're doing the 21-day fix. I went and ordered it. Like, oh, yeah. You don't leave room for the
Right.
Happens way too often. People are like, oh, you're doing that Shakeology. I just ordered it. Like, they don't know you're offering it to them if you're not clearing it away and they're asking more.
And that's huge. That's something I've had to work on recently because I don't know, I feel like most people are much better at sharing a sweaty selfie and sharing about the workouts than they are the Shakeology and nutrition and the benefits of it. So that's something I've really tried to focus on too. Like 2 of my posts a week, I really try to focus. This is what I'm having for breakfast. It tastes amazing. It's helping me do this, this, and this. And then people are like, wait a minute, how is that helping you do that? And I'm like, let me message you. So.
I feel like I just don't use the words, although I feel like I have sometimes lately in my like objection posts. I feel like I use the words, but I feel like I don't use it normally just because this is my business. This isn't about Beachbody. Exactly. This is me. And they have their own marketing and advertisement. Why the hell do I want to keep like making their job easier?
Right. Yeah, they're doing pretty good on their own.
Right. Exactly. Anything else? Any other questions for Lindsay? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, there's something. Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, awesome. If no one else has anything, I think we're all set. Thank you so much again for speaking.
You're welcome.
I love hearing these stories, especially, I mean, I feel like I never talk to a lot of coaches that do this full time and have reached your success and still work full time. So I love to hear that it's possible, just because we have so many coaches that still do it and think that they don't have enough time and that they can't do it. And you're obviously proof that that's not the case. So
it's definitely, if you want it, you'll make it work.
Right. Like anything.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, girlfriend.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
It was great to hear from you. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for getting on.
Good
We'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
All right.